I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the Planet in Focus Film Festival at the TIFF Bell Lightbox in downtown Toronto. I'm here with filmmaker Andrew Nisker. How does it feel to have your film Dark Side of the Chew here at Planet in Focus?
It feels, it's like a relief to finally get it out to the world. We've been working on it for 5 years. It's an honor to be here, of course. This is our third film we've screened at Planet in Focus. It's our first time being a closing night film, which is quite the honor. And we are very excited to see how the audience reacts to this.
So, chewing gum is a $1 billion annual cleanup. That's how much it costs to clean up gum every year. So when you first found this out, what was your initial reaction?
Well, we initially set off to go to London to shoot on Oxford Street because it's one of the most heavily polluted gum districts and shopping districts in the world. Shopping gum go hand in hand. And what we discovered when we were there through the BIA was we were interviewing one of the people from the Business Association who said that they spend £1 million a year just cleaning gum off Oxford Street. And they work 8 months of the year. The gentleman we interviewed in the film had been doing this job for 33 years, supervising cleanup crews to clean up gum all night long, because that's when they do it, obviously. And the gentleman from the BI said, you know, if we're spending £1 million in London, we're spending £100 million in the UK, you gotta guess that globally, we're probably spending over $1 billion to clean this stuff up annually, because it's really pervasive where it is, but it's also innocuous. People don't really pay attention to it. But it's also something that business associations, cities, people who are ever responsible for the concrete have to deal and fight with to clean up.
And in this film, you traveled around to various places, including the jungle in Mexico.
Yeah.
What was that like? Were you afraid at all? I mean, you were literally going through the woods with those machetes, you know?
It was terrifying. Yeah. No, they really, they got us nervous, because before we came, they said, you know, you better be ready for mosquitoes. And of course, me growing up going to camp in Northern Ontario, I'm like, mosquitoes. But they said, but these type of mosquitoes, you know, if the one with the yellow back fly bites you, you're going to have to come back here immediately, and this is the only place where you can get an anti-venom for. And if you step on those thorns, you know, we're going to have to take you, because your leg's going to swell up like that. And don't touch anything that you don't know without looking at it, because, you know, you could disturb the killer bees, and a killer bee swarm could come after you. And they went after another film crew a few years ago, and we got attacked by it. So we were forewarned, all these things. And on top of that, you know, there's other diseases you can get being in the jungle, being bitten by these insects. So I went haywire, and I went to Mountain Equipment Co-op and bought everything I could from.
You were the guy in the bug net.
Yeah, we had the bug net and the bug shirt and pants and double layers. And I was thinking, I'm going to be, the other thing that they told us is it's going to be about 40 degrees, you know, Celsius plus humidity. So on the hottest days you could think of here in Toronto, plus with all the mosquitoes, I figured all the clothing to protect you from mosquitoes, it was thought it'd be very uncomfortable being out there for that long. And the guys obviously that are harvesting the chicle, they're used to being out there. And what ended up happening was that there weren't many mosquitoes at all, if any, thankfully. And the heat, it was hot. My clothes were wet, soaking wet, but I wore clothes, you know, that covered my body, and we did it, and it was like, you know, the trip of a lifetime. It was totally incredible.
All worth seeing the chicle juices come out of the tree.
Incredible. I mean, it's amazing to think this is a process that's been going on for over 100 years, if not longer. No, actually hundreds of years. That the way that chicle is harvested from trees. When you see in the film these chicoleros, as they're called, who were known, you know, a long time ago as kind of cowboys and outlaws, because their jobs are very risky, being out there in the jungle, dealing with these conditions, and they're very fierce and competitive to try and harvest as much chicle as they could.
Do you think chicle is the origin of the Chiclet brand?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
I mean,
it
it's
is.
kind of a tribute to that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And at one point, it probably was made from Chick-fil-A. There's just what we discovered when we made the film was that there was a shift. Gum was once a natural substance that we chewed that came from trees, and then all of a sudden, towards the middle part of the 20th century, that's when things changed.
And in the film, you do cover a lot of the history, or all of the history of gum, including how it was originally mass-produced to be sent over with soldiers in the States during war. And while you were researching the origins, was there anything in particular that really sort of struck you by surprise that you found particularly fascinating?
Well, gum, the marketing of gum really set the standard for marketing of many products that we know today. Gum was probably one of the first, or the first product that was marketed, mass marketed. And so the companies that took gum as a simple product that was being sold in pharmacies, they took gum and they turned it into something that everybody would want and need. Wrigley created a science institute that would tout the virtues of chewing gum for your health. That it was a healthy habit and that you should do it. Keep your breath fresh, keep you awake, and
rot your teeth.
yeah, well, sugar can rot your teeth, definitely. Sugar-free gum came along a little while later. But that's the way gum started to be sold. And through the creation of that, you saw in other products after gum. Cigarettes, of course, were marketed a similar way at first. It was good for your health, smoke a pack, feel better. Doctors were prescribing cigarettes. And a lot of the cues that the tobacco industry took were actually originated from the gum industry and what the gum industry did. So it's fascinating. And also mass marketing itself. We discovered in the film, while making the film, that the mass marketing of gum in Times Square, for example. Billboards in Times Square, the first billboards in Times Square were chewing gum ads. And that set the standard of what we have today. Times Square became that because of what Wrigley did by putting ads up in Times Square. Gumball machines in subways. And so they were so good at marketing gum that they convinced the U.S. Army that it was a good thing for soldiers to take with them overseas. In their K ration kits, which were basically, a soldier's kit full of dried goods that a soldier could take with them in the trenches and add water to or eat that would give them sustenance. Or with gum's purpose was to help them stay alert and relaxed. And so, millions and millions of packs of gum ended up going overseas. And after the war, because all that gum went overseas, there was a new market that was created for chewing gum. And that's when it kind of went multinational.
And tell me a little bit about the app that you've created as well, tracking gum and all of the waste it's creating around the world.
Well, one of the things we wanted to do is shine a light on the issue. And of course, most people don't realize those black spots on the sidewalk are chewing gum. And one way to obviously raise awareness is to make people more aware that gum is there. And to do that, we thought it'd be great if we could use some sort of app utilizing a phone and something that's user-friendly that kids would enjoy participating in. So we came up with an app. Well, we worked with a company called ACTRA Canada, and we came up with an app called Gumshoe. And what you do is you download the app and you take a picture of the sidewalk where you are. Picture is uploaded to the app, and the app reads how much gum is in the actual photograph. The app also takes the gum photograph and it places it into a map of the world, because the photograph is geotagged. It will take that photograph. So what ends up being is more and more people take pictures using this app. We start to create a map, a gum map app. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. A gum map app, a gum map made from the app.
Say that 10 times fast.
And so, a gum map app, we create a map from these gum photographs, and we can start to quantify how much gum there is everywhere. And we can work on starting to raise awareness about proper disposal of gum, so people aren't littering and they realize the environmental impact of that, and also put some pressure on the companies to create a more biodegradable, green, sustainable chew for us to enjoy.
And where's the best place for us to find out more information on the film and on the app and on you as well online?
Well, you can start at darksideofthechew.com. That's our website. My company is called Take Action Films. I did a TEDx talk about this very subject, which you can see on our website also. And of course, I'm more than welcome to come out to your school and your community and talk about gum pollution or anything else you want to talk about when it comes to environmental issues and taking action.
Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you, Katie. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the Planet in Focus Film Festival in downtown Toronto.